Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the brand new video, and in today's video we are going to be going over the Inkwell note that just dropped. It is 8/13 on Wednesday of August. This is absolutely hype with the brand new Inkwell note, and I'm extremely excited to pretty much bring you guys all the information on this Inkwell note and give you guys a TLDR of everything that had happened in this Inkwell note. So essentially how this Inkwell note starts is they just talk about what has happened in the past from GMS, talking about Mojuan, Sia, and the implementation of familiars. They also go over talking about how they will not be adjusting the crystal prices and they will be keeping them as is. So awesome here. They pretty much just gave us clarity, and I know that a lot of people were wondering about the boss crystal prices, so awesome job, they cleared that up for us. Then they also go on to talking about the introduction of the public test server. Now this is absolutely amazing because, as a lot of you guys know, and anybody who's been playing MapleStory over the last 5 months has understood that the game has not been running as smoothly as it should. So they decided to implement a public test server. Now this is going to help alleviate a lot of downtime for the game, the extendo maintenances, and pretty much all the bugs that come with brand new updates. So this public test server is going to be absolutely amazing when it does get introduced into the game. And essentially they said this is going to be introduced in the first half of next year, or the first or second quarter of 2026 at the earliest. So absolutely amazing there with the news so far. But then it does not stop there. It talks about the interactive world merge and the auction house, and essentially, to sum this up, it just talks about how they decided to waive the 10% fee of trading between the two worlds. So that is absolutely amazing for the interactive world. So W change for regular server. And they proceed to go and talk about the MapleCon 20th anniversary, and pretty much how they're talking about how they are going to be increasing the budget for the MapleCon, and it's going to be pretty much their best MapleCon or MapleFest that they've ever had to date. They talk about that the ticket pricing is going to be a little bit more expensive as well because, well, they are going to be spending a little bit more money on MapleCon. So we'll have to see how good it really is, but nonetheless, awesome stuff here, talking about how they want to invest more into the future of the community and pretty much just give players a good experience overall. And then they also just talk about the gifts that you're going to be getting when you go there. So some bags, some merchandise, some in-game rewards as well, which is cool. So nonetheless, awesome stuff here. And yeah, then we move down to pretty much where the juicy stuff starts to happen. So they start off by laying out a little bit of a roadmap for August and September. So pretty much August, we're going to be getting Legion Champion, we're going to be getting Night Troop, we're going to be getting Champion Burning, Challenger World Pre-Leap, and then Dave the Diver crossover extension. And then in September, this is where all the content is going to be. We're essentially going to be getting 2-minute classes for all jobs, boss reward improvements, and the special skill rings, which is like level 6 rings and all of that. Hexastat 3, Baldrix, Destiny Weapon, UI revamp, Cash Shop UI, and MVP revamp. So they actually did acknowledge that they are going to be doing an MVP revamp, which in my opinion, that confirms that we should be getting MVP Black, but we'll see. And then they just go through and show a brief overview of each one of the events and pretty much just kind of give a little bit of a header for each one. But that is where things now start to get juicy. And I'm going to be honest, when I was first reading this note, I was getting a little bit nervous here. And I thought they're just going to be giving us what we already knew. But then they drop the header direction of the upcoming winter event. And this is where things take a change for the absolute best. They start off by pretty much talking about how their expectations fell short, and they did feel like they missed quite a bit of things when they had the whole Go West movement. And they talk about how they missed a few finer details in the game, but those finer details made up a huge portion. After they kind of just go about what they've done in the past and what they missed and kind of like their apology in a way, they do then go on to talk about that this winter's update will center around quality of life. And I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't even consider this quality of life. I would consider this an entire content update. Their quality of life is absolutely amazing, and we're going to get right into what that quality of life really is. So number 1 is the expansion of level 3 link skills to all jobs. So essentially what that means is any link skill that you have right now that is level 2 is going to go to level 3. So that is just pretty much free final damage to all characters, all mules, all Legion champions. It's absolutely amazing. Number 2, and this is the biggest thing of them all, additional ways to acquire equipment and restore destroyed equipment. Essentially, what they say here is that they understand that it is very hard to get high-end equipment in MapleStory in general, and especially in heroic servers where you literally can't even trade the equipment or buy the equipment at all. And they address the fact that they know that they had to come up with some sort of like Starforce fix or some sort of fix to this problem where you're just lacking the ability to actually get spares. And they address these problems by these 4 bulletins here. A system that allows players to collect fragments of high-level equipment and exchange them for a completed piece of equipment, which in my mind, this essentially hints at pitch, boss, pity system, or even potentially not only pitch, boss, pity system, but pity systems across the board of all boss equipment, which is absolutely amazing. And then a system to restore destroyed equipment via quest. So maybe something like a jump quest, or some sort of task that you have to do to restore a piece of equipment, which again, that's absolutely amazing. An item dedicated to restoring destroyed equipment traces during the Starforce enhancement process. So having a whole-on item that will restore destroyed equipment. We don't know what any of this stuff is yet, but we will find out in the winter quality of life update. Reducing the penalty for destroyed items during Starforce enhancement process, which this is essentially just what KMS had gotten, but we'll see if they change anything with that. But nonetheless, that's absolutely amazing. Hit everything on the head. What a great way to address the Starforcing system. And then number 3, equipment progression assistance. Now this one's kind of weird, but it just seems like it's a good way to help newer players. Essentially what this is a support system that helps with replacing item burning equipment step by step. So kind of helps newer players wean off of the item burning items and makes it easier for them to progress throughout the game without feeling such a far drop off once their item burnings expire. And then they said a system that allows short-term rental of specific equipment, which we don't know exactly what that's going to be yet, but we'll find out. But nonetheless, absolutely amazing there. And then 4 familiar system improvements, providing familiar system presets, expanding familiar items and bag slots, and removing less preferred elements from familiar potentials and adjusting potential stats. That means a lot of things. They could add higher tier potentials such as legendary, or they could just tweak the lines to give final damage, higher attack lines, higher damage lines. They could do a ton of stuff there, but that nonetheless absolutely amazing. And expanding familiar inventory and bag slots, no more clutter, makes it a lot easier to tier up familiars. But again, we'll have to find out and wait to see what all this stuff means once our winter quality of life update happens. And then number 5, progression convenience for multiple characters. And I wasn't too sure exactly what this meant because it kind of already seemed like we already had this in the game. They said characters within the same account will share progress on pre-quests, which we already have right now, and then weekly quest completion limits will be changed to daily. Again, we have to wait for further details to actually understand what any of this stuff absolutely means. But then they also say the transfer of Absolab/Arcane Umbra equipment between characters within the same account will be supported. We don't know for sure if this is going to be for heroic, but I would assume that this is going to be for heroic. But again, we have to wait and find out details to know if it is finalized. And then just system convenience improvements. So again, just adding favorite features for event lists, allowing immediate price changes when relisting unsold items in the auction house, and enhanced convenience in extraction/inventory organization. Those are like some real quality of life changes. The other ones, in my opinion, I wouldn't even consider those quality of life. They're just absolutely game-changing improvements, which is absolutely amazing. And then number 7, other convenience improvements, improving the process of opening cash items, allowing bulk opening of content reward boxes, simplifying the text that needs to be input when obtaining certain items, adding an invincibility status indicator when using invincibility skills. And then they obviously at the very bottom, they have their rewards here. And yeah, that's pretty much the TLDR of the entire Inkwell note. I will say this is absolutely the best Inkwell note that we've ever gotten. So much good quality of life, so much great positivity going into the future, and I'm extremely excited for what we have in store for ourselves in this winter update. I think that Inkwell nailed absolutely everything in this note, but let me know what you guys think. But other than that, that is going to wrap up the video for today, and until next time, I'll see you guys then. Take it easy. Peace.